Greetings and welcome back, Blade fans. I've got another really unusual, wacky blade to show you today. And it's from a company I haven't purchased from before. They are a budget knife company, near as I can tell. Lunatech Industries. I believe it is a Chinese-made knife. It's very interesting. We've got the American flag there. You can get into all of that on your own if you want. You can put comments about Chinese knives and so forth in the comments. That's fine. I'm not saying I'm for them or against them. I happen to run across this for a very attractive price, about 30 bucks on Atlantic Knife. Okay, so if you haven't gone out to Atlantic Knife before, they're located, I believe, down in Virginia, and which seems to be near Knife Center and Blade HQ and a bunch of other folks selling knives down that way. It is a design by Jason Brous. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's been around designing knives for a long time and has made some very higher-end knives over the years. Maybe not so much anymore, but I recall seeing them for a couple $100. This one, apparently, he licensed the design out to this company, and maybe it's his company. I really don't have much background on it, but you'll see in a minute that the knife goes back a ways. So I don't know if Atlantic Cutlery is clearing out some inventory or what. But here we go. Quick unboxing for you. Nothing fancy with the box. And however, the knife, as you're going to see in a minute, is just nuts. What we've got here is a stainless steel frame. We have what they call a silicone rubber grips in here, kind of similar to what you see on some of the Microtech knives. And here it is. And before we open her up, here I went out to the Lunatech website. They do have a website, and they've got many other interesting models. They're calling the blade grind on this Brous Hybrid, hollow and flat. It's Sandvik steel. I think I'm finding out it's 12C. 27, if that's correct. HRC 55 to 57, 3.9-inch blade, 9 inches overall. And I'll just back up one page here. Here are some other crazy knives. Crazy, but they're using designers with well-known names. Kelly Warden, you may know that name. And a lot of these, they're pointing to Amazon. I'll give you a link to this website so you can check it out for yourself. But I'm sure you're anxious to take a look at this blade, so there we go. Wow. Yeah, that's the Jason Brous modified who knows what. But I am more than familiar with so-called tactical knives. So I'm going to tell you, as odd as this thing looks, and I know some of you are screaming, gas station, gas station. Oh, go fill your car up then. Yeah, I mean, look at Reich knives. They've got some crazy designs too, but you're not about to call them gas station knives for $400 and $500. Or maybe you are. This right in here, this scallop reminds me of what they call VEF serrations that you see a lot on some of the Columbia River knives. Basically what that is one big serration. You pull across that on your draw cut back and you're digging in. You are digging in. And here's your flat grind right here. Here's your hollow in here. Heavily billboarded, Lunatech Industries. And look at the production. First production, 8/15/18. Maybe I should keep this as a keepsake, collectible. Jason Brous design, LTK. Love them knives? Lee, is that you? I don't think so. 9700. And they're very, very plainly given is China, although we had the American flag on the box. So obviously, Lunatech Industries, they're designed in the US, made in China, what have you. This material in here, this grip stuff, is okay. I mean, they got a little bit of roughness, overage there. If you look at it flat, it's perfectly inlaid. But, you know, it's got some little things sticking out if you look at it sideways, whatever. So it's a knife that would normally be slippery because of the polished stainless. And yes, that's stainless and not titanium. Everything's stainless on it, including the blade. As I say, Sandvik 12C is what I'm finding it is. They're calling it Sandvik. So I believe it's 12C. If it's not 12C, it could be 14C 28N. But I think 12C 27 is the other variant of Sandvik. Still a stainless steel, and not a bad one. The 12C, they say, is in some cases even a better stainless than the 14C. A couple methods of opening it. So it is a frame lock. No hardened steel insert necessary because we're not mating titanium with steel, we're mating steel with steel. So we have like metals, therefore no galling. It's got a nice detent. And this fuller here, got to give it a little more energy. It's a long blade. There we go. Very grippy fuller, very sharply cut, almost too sharp, but definitely picks up the skin all the way along that fuller. We've got obviously a big window, long window going through it. However, that window is not visible when the knife is closed, so its value for flipping is not there, but the fuller definitely picks up the skin quite easily. No jimping on the flipper tab, but I just jabbed it right into my hand there. Hang on. I've been getting a lot of cuts lately. I got to stop that. Running out of Band-Aids, damn it. It's a big knife. It is a big one. About an inch left over on my medium-large hand. You could sort of position your finger there. And it's not really a finger choil, but place to place your finger on the front of the guard. And watch this little guy here, because that's going to bite you. You don't really want to put your finger in there, except maybe sideways. But yeah, it's going to be a slicer, you know. We're going to try that out a little bit later. But for now, they did give us the measurements, but let's put the tape to it. We'll give you some comparison a little bit too. It is a 9 1/8 inch blade, 9 1/8 inch overall dimensions with a 4-inch right to the front of the frame, 4-inch blade. So they're saying 3.9. Yeah, the cutting edge is 3.9. So yeah, big, 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 big. And we're going to get into the weight and whatnot in just a moment. How about the blade stock in millimeters? If I can find it. 4 millimeters. Wow. Without pressure, it's 4 millimeters. 0.15. And fairly thin, 1/2 inch across the handle. That is some interesting specifications. Close it up. And we've got in grams, yes, I'm doing grams, 177 grams. And if we switch it to ounces, it's not a lightweight, it's 6.2, 6.3 ounces, we'll call that. What's interesting is, as odd as the profile of this goes, and by the way, what I did before was, in trying to reach the flipper tab, I was covering the tip of the blade. You don't want to do that. It'll get you. even though it's the back of the blade. The point can get you though. But what I was getting at is that it's an odd knife, but if you're talking gas station odd, they're not made this well. This actually has a really smooth, I'm going to say bearings, maybe bushings. Can we really tell? I don't know. What did they say in the little blurb that I found on their website? Well, they gave lots of specs. Titanium. Handle material is 420 stainless steel, by the way. Knife type is urban tactical. The weight is wrong. They're saying 3.2 ounces. They got to be kidding. So these are kind of messed up. Blade thickness 0.15. Yep, that's what I got. HRC 55 to 57. You may not give your blessings to that, but they're on these Sandvik steels. They're not going to be hardened up as much as your M390, Magna Cut, S90V, what have you. No, they're, yeah, it's kind of a weird mishmash of specs. So we're not going to pay a whole lot of attention to them. We got T6 there and T6 for the body screws. So that's harkening back to 2018 when manufacturers were using a bit more of the smaller Torx. I don't know that you're going to need to adjust this. You might want to take it down for curiosity if you pick one up. Again, you can get these at Atlantic Blade. I believe that's Atlantic Knife. So what do I have for compare? Well, many years ago, I got other Jason Brous knives designed blades. That's the T4. And this also falling well into the budget category. This is a D2 blade, heavily stonewashed, G10 handles with hidden liners. Got a lot of pocket fuzz in there. You can tell I carried this a bit. Put my own edge on it. Got a nice mirror edge on this guy, so she is sharp. And a very ergonomic, comfortable knife. If you can find that one. That, again, that is the Brous T4. It is about the same size, exactly the same size overall. What else have we got? A smaller guy. This is called the Silent Soldier, and a very interesting design. I mean, Jason does get into, and I don't have a whole lot of background on him, does get into some interesting tactical, urban tactical designs. I mean, that's almost kind of like a Fred Perrin concept there with that finger hole. Although there's nothing on the knife giving any credit to Fred, and there's not even any markings as to the steel on either of these. However, in looking them up, and in looking them up in the past, D2 and D2. Look at this jimping on here. Double rows of this cross-hatched kind of jimping. Very, very grippy for sure. That's an interesting interesting jimping that maybe more folks should use. You can put your finger up front here on the front of the guard, or keep it back here so you don't have to use the finger hole. Definitely a claw style blade. Certainly one that if you wanted to, you could hold in this position. I guess I would hold it here, really. I'm not comfortable putting my pinky through finger holes. A little bit better design here. It hits my knuckle. So if you get a full grip on it, it actually doesn't feel uncomfortable. My finger, you can see, is kind of jammed up in that choil area there, if you want to call it that. You could hold it that way without a problem. You could hold it this way. Anyway, these are still available out on Amazon, and some of these are available on Amazon. Might have gotten these on Amazon. Can't really say for sure. Yeah, I know you got the black on black going here, but you can see them pretty well when I bring them up into the light. Interesting knives. I'll do another compare here with something a little more standard, a little more knowable. There's a Rat 1. And how does the Rat 1 stack up? It's a little shorter by about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. And got a blade a little bit shorter, 1/2 an inch or so. And a Griptilian. Going to be a smaller knife for sure. Check that out. Oh yeah. Let's see if it'll cut. Do I have some paper that's unmolested here? Well, rather than go get some, let's see. Definitely we got a point on it. Since I cut a straight edge there, let's try it. Front part of the blade, fairly sharp. Recurve part. I just don't think it's a paper shaven blade. It's pretty smooth. Get all the crud out of the way now. It certainly feels hair popping sharp. It just isn't super bitey, but I would trust this to bite into meat for sure. You might say difficult to put an edge on this, but using croc sticks I think would be the simplest way to get the inner curve here and the flat ground forward edge. It feels sharper than that paper just demonstrated. So there you have it. The LTK9700 Brous designed Lunatech blade. Is it a lunatic? Maybe it's a lunatic. Oh, you decide. Not that important. If you want to spend a little bit of money on this and check it out, they're still available at Atlantic Knife. Be well, take care, and hit the subscribe shield over here. It'll bring you to a link where you can subscribe to the channel. You won't see too many of these wacko blades on the channel, but I figured this was interesting, and maybe you would find it interesting as well. Be well. Take care.